I'm very proud to tell you guys this video is going to be brought to you by Gfuel, and right now they have a brand new Kaiju number 8 energy formula. You guys know, if you've been keeping up with my videos on my other channel, I love Kaiju number 8. I am extremely proud to say that I've tried this one out. This energy formula of the Kiwi Berry Blitz is absolutely insane, and you get that energy formula itself. There's just enough caffeine in the energy formula itself to get your day started. Another huge plus is the fact that there's zero crash when you use it, so you ain't got to worry about being Konohamaru and not being able to perform because you ain't got the energy. Also, you get all the vitamins and minerals and antioxidants that are going to get your day going, and best of all, there's zero sugar, which is a huge plus to me. You guys know that running multiple YouTube channels, it's not an easy thing to do. And so I do time to time need an energy drink to pick me up. And so I go with Gfuel because it's a lot healthier than some of the energy drinks that are out there. Use my promo code KAGE in order to get your discount. When you click on my affiliate link down in the description box, you can purchase the Kaiju number 8 box as well as any other anime themed Gfuel products that strike your fancy. Doing so really helps support the channel. Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today I want to talk to you guys about something that Boruto 2 Blue Vortex has set in motion to happen in the future of the story via chapter 12, which is the long-awaited return of Sasuke Uchiha. That's why in today's newest Naruto Explain video, I want to talk to you guys about the path that's being set up for the return of Batman Sensei himself, Sasuke Uchiha, the symbolism in Sasuke being brought back in this way, and the ultimate payoff in terms of the story impact for Sasuke's return. So, jumping right into the topic for today's video, with the introduction of the Thorn Souls into the lore for the Naruto franchise, everything has changed as we know it now, because based on what we've seen, these Thorn Souls appear to be tied directly to the person who the Claw Grimes consume in order to evolve, and they appear to be the missing link that was needed to reverse the process of people who are trapped inside of trees. In chapter 4 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, Boruto was uncharacteristically stubborn, at least in terms of how he's been portrayed in the majority of the Boruto 2 Blue Vortex story. He saw a deck being stacked against him and how the awakened Shinju were beginning to outnumber him and their power levels were higher than he originally anticipated. He had Kashi and Koji telling him abort the mission, but Boruto was stubbornly saying around in the fight, and the only time he appeared to briefly lose his cool when he set eyes on Hidari, all of a sudden it was on sight, and it was because it was the awakened Shinju made out of Sasuke's chakra, and Boruto knew as much. At the end of the clash, Boruto, he's all depressed and he finds himself and he's looking up at the tree where Sasuke's trapped, and he apologizes to Sasuke. He's telling him that he's sorry and that he's going to have to wait just a little bit longer before Boruto can save him. At the time, we didn't know exactly what Boruto meant here. It was assumed by many of us that this would come in the form of some kind of a battle with Hidari, but we didn't know with absolute certainty how beating Hidari would restore Sasuke at all. Did it mean that by killing Hidari, Sasuke's chakra would just be sent back to the original body? And if so, how would that work, since Hidari wasn't just made out of Sasuke's chakra, but also Code's chakra and the Ten Tails chakra? It was a blend of all three things happening, so even factor in the chakra mumbo jumbo where you suspend disbelief because this is fiction. There's always been a question of how we're going to get to a point where the chakra returns to Sasuke's body, since chakra is connected and it wasn't just his chakra at all. Was this a situation like Kakashi and Obito, where Obito's chakra literally flew out of his own ashes and into Kakashi's body, and Kakashi was now able to use 6-pass power and the double Mangekyo Sharingan, which as we know was drastically amped up by the 6-pass power that Obito had as having been a Ten-Tails Jinchuriki? Or was this going to be something different altogether? Well, we now seemingly have our answers. So in order to save Sasuke, and by extension all the other bums who are eaten, you have to destroy the awakened Shinju counterpart, their ego basically, in order to produce the opposite of a chakra fruit in the form of a thorn soul. Whereas the chakra fruit is made up of chakra and genetic material of all living things that are on a planet and all living beings who have ever existed on the planet, the thorn soul, based on what we've seen, appears to be based off of the genetic material of the person whose chakra was consumed by a claw grime in order to turn them into awakened Shinju, the soul of their ego, basically. And when you look at the color schemes, they're the opposites, which makes a lot of sense. Whereas Sasuke was calculating, Hidari was a bumbling idiot who could give 12-year-old Naruto a run for his money in terms of being a dumbass. So Boruto tells us that this thorn soul is a way to restore Sasuke, save him from being trapped as a tree. And it appears as if Boruto's right, because the moment that Jura hears him say this, Jura just decided, hold on a second, hit the pause button. He pulls out his sniper rifle, he shoots Boruto, and he tries to kill him because he viewed Boruto as being too dangerous to be left to live. Jura basically confirms Boruto's theory to us, and that's a very important thing to keep note of, because we now have an official answer as to how to save Sasuke, which means we can now look at the symbolism behind this being the way to save Sasuke, and where this whole concept becomes poetic in a way that I don't see enough people giving him credit. In nature, thorns are meant to protect a plant from being eaten by animals that are attracted to their fragrance and their taste. It's a desperate measure of self-defense by an otherwise defenseless living being. The thorn soul looks like a chakra fruit, which is meant to be eaten by an Otsutsuki, and it has thorns on it. But those thorns don't appear meant to protect it from the Otsutsuki, so much as people like Boruto, who are trying to restore their lives of those who were turned into trees. Since it is a fruit, it might need to be ingested in some kind of way by Sasuke, who has his head happen to be sticking out. The poetry further continues when you realize that Sasuke is now coming full circle. He's someone who used to believe he hadn't done enough to earn his redemption yet. However, by leaving the village and protecting Boruto, someone who the entire village wants to kill for the death of Naruto, and Sasuke choosing to become a rogue ninja all over again to aid the person blamed for the death of the man who fought tooth and nail to get Sasuke lifetime probation at the discretion of the Hokage, he's now willingly back in the darkness. He's given himself in order to protect Boruto, and by extension the village, and most of the people there, they won't ever know it. And this is where that poetry really comes into place. So just as Naruto had to save Sasuke from the darkness that Sasuke threw himself willingly into because of hatred after battling someone who was trying to harvest a chakra fruit, Boruto is now having to do the same thing for Sasuke to save him from darkness that Sasuke willingly threw himself into, only this time it wasn't done fueled by hatred, but instead it was fueled by the love of his daughter, the trust that Boruto was truly his student, and it was fueled by making an honorary sacrifice. It was a full circle moment in that Sasuke is being saved by the son, just as Sasuke himself was saved by the father. Again, it's a full circle moment, because yet again, it is a sign, yet another sign, that the cycle of hatred has been truly broken in this new era. The cycle of hatred between transmigrants of Ashura and Indra appeared to be never ending, but look at where we are now. The story is positioning us where the first two children born of the transmigrants of Ashura and Indra that broke the cycle of hatred, so Boruto and Sarada, they are now the ones who appear, destined to recover the thorn soul that is needed to restore Sasuke. It's a poetic bow being wrapped on this entire story, and it is a perfect way to transition to a newer generation. Sarada wants to be the Hokage, Boruto wants to be the Shadow Hokage, Naruto is the Hokage, Sasuke is the Shadow Hokage. They represent a yin and a yang in a way that people are not paying enough attention to, in my opinion, so allow me to explain. We know that yin and yang are concepts as two parts of the same whole. With chakra, yin is a representation of the mind and the emotion and the spirit. With yang, it is a representation of physical attributes like speed, strength, and endurance. Boruto and Sarada, being the first children born of this cycle of hatred being broken, represents all of this with their career choices. The son of the Hokage wants to go in the opposite direction of the father. He wants to be the Shadow Hokage. The daughter of the Shadow Hokage wants to go into the opposite direction of her father. She wants to be the Hokage. One wants the darkness, one wants the light. One is the seed of the light, and one is the seed of the darkness. They are seeking the opposite. It's a new cycle being continued here, and it is very poetic, and it goes back to what Sasuke stated in the flashback in chapter 5 of Boruto TBV Vortex. He told Boruto that whatever was going on, he fully expected Boruto and Sarada to be the ones who could resolve it. Boruto and Sarada, the two first children broken after the cycle of hatred was broken, having to work together as a yin to the other's yang to save the world, just as their parents once had to do. It's even more poetic if Sarada ends up playing a role in Naruto getting unsealed, but that does appear to be a dispute that is solely to be solved by the children of Naruto. So Boruto and Kawaki and Himawari, which thematically it makes sense. The reincarnation of Indra is the only one who primarily needs the two children of the Ashra and Indra reincarnates to work together from a thematic perspective. There's payoff in both of these scenarios. The other thing that this does is that it provides Sasuke, once this is all over, the chance to say that he has fully redeemed himself, omnipotent. At some point, it's gonna get reversed. Assuming, of course, Boruto follows the same cookie cutter writing that shonen tend to follow. Boruto plays with walking on the edges of the typical shonen genre rules, but for the most part, it still walks the lines of what you would expect with a gateway series. It doesn't go too drastic. Because Naruto itself is a franchise, it stays within the confines of your typical battle shonen formula, even if it does toe the lines at times. I've said before that Boruto and Sarada, they remind me a lot of Hachimaru and Anne from Kishimoto's work that he wrote after Naruto ended, but did not do the illustrations for. Samurai 8, The Tale of Hachimaru, strongly recommend reading that. And just as Sasuke predicted that Boruto and Sarada were the key to ending what's going on currently, well, you had Anne and Hachimaru played a role in the ending of that story as well. Granted, their characters have been twisted around in order to fit into the confines of the Naruto world, but there is some overlap between these four characters: Anne, Hachimaru, Boruto, and Sarada, and there are other concepts from Samurai 8 that are being sprinkled in the story. Now, when this is all over and people learn what Sasuke did for the village, the world, carrying that cross of hatred, the way that he's done not only completes his redemption journey, but he has now fully completed his original goal in the Naruto franchise, which that is not restoration in the Uchiha clan in the way that people think, because this act, when it's revealed, is going to erase the dishonor of the clan from all those years ago, and it's going to further cement the final steps that Sarada needs to become Hokage. In spite of having relics of the past like the two elders who know the truth about what happened with the Uchiha clan in the history, Sasuke will have now finally restored the Uchiha, which for those of you guys who think this meant that Sasuke running out there pumping babies into a bunch of random kunoichi, you'll need to watch this video on the left to understand the true meaning of restore the Uchiha, from the samurai aspects that drove Sasuke's character in Naruto and the Japanese culture aspects that went into that goal. And over here on the right, we got the Boruto chapter review for those of you guys who've not seen it yet.